The starship Horizon glided silently through the inky blackness of deep space, its sleek hull gleaming in the light of distant stars. Inside the bridge, Captain Emma Chen stood with her hands clasped behind her back, dark eyes fixed on the view screen before her. The anticipation was palpable among her crew as they approached the rendezvous point. After centuries of searching the cosmos for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence, humanity was about to make first contact. Emma took a deep breath, willing her racing heart to slow. At 28, she was the youngest captain ever to lead a deep space mission. The weight of this historic moment pressed down on her shoulders. Everything she'd worked for had led to this. 2 minutes to contact, Captain, announced her first officer, Commander Aiden Reeves. His voice was steady, but Emma could see the excitement in his eyes. She nodded, smoothing down her crisp uniform. All stations report in. One by one, her crew confirmed their readiness. Weapons, shields, communications, sensors, all systems were green across the board. Not that they expected to need weapons, but Emma believed in being prepared for any eventuality. 30 seconds, Aiden said. Emma's gaze remained fixed on the view screen as a shimmering distortion appeared in the distance. It grew larger, coalescing into a sleek vessel unlike anything humans had ever constructed. Its hull was a pearlescent white that seemed to glow from within. Graceful curves and spiraling structures defied conventional spaceship design. "It's beautiful," breathed Lieutenant Kira Nomura from the science station. Emma had to agree. The alien ship was a work of art. A chime sounded from the communications console. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," reported Ensign Chen. "On screen," Emma ordered, squaring her shoulders. The view screen flickered, and Emma found herself face to face with humanity's first glimpse of an alien species. The being before her had a vaguely humanoid shape, with 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. But that's where the similarities ended. Its skin was a pale lavender, smooth and slightly iridescent. Large, almond-shaped eyes of deep indigo dominated a face devoid of any nose or mouth. Instead, faint ripples passed across its skin as it communicated. "Greetings, humans of Earth," came a melodious voice from the ship's speakers. "We are the Noven, and we welcome you to the galactic community." A collective gasp went up from the bridge crew. The alien was speaking perfect English. Emma stepped forward, chin held high. "On behalf of Earth and all of humanity, we thank you for your welcome. I am Captain Emma Chen of the Starship Horizon. We come in peace and friendship." The Noven's skin rippled in what Emma hoped was a positive response. "We have long awaited this day, Captain Chen. Your species has been under observation for some time, and we believe you are ready to join us among the stars." Emma's mind reeled at the implications. They'd been watching Earth for how long? She pushed the questions aside for now, focusing on diplomacy. "We are honored by your faith in us," she replied. "We have much to learn from you." "Indeed," the Noven said, "and we from you as well. If you are amenable, we would like to invite a delegation aboard our vessel to begin cultural exchange." Emma glanced at Aiden, who gave a slight nod. This was what they'd hoped for, but now that the moment had arrived, she felt a flicker of apprehension. They knew nothing about these aliens or their true intentions, but they hadn't come all this way to let fear hold them back. "We would be honored," Emma said. "Please allow us time to prepare a delegation." "Of course," the Noven replied. "We await your arrival with great anticipation." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Aiden was the first to speak. "Well, that went better than we could have hoped." Emma nodded, her mind already racing ahead to next steps. "Assemble the away team. You, me, Lieutenant Nomura for scientific analysis, and Dr. Emerson for medical. Full environmental suits until we can confirm the atmosphere is safe." As her crew rushed to comply, Emma allowed herself a moment to absorb the magnitude of what was happening. After all the years of preparation, all the simulations and protocols, first contact was proceeding with almost surreal smoothness. So why couldn't she shake the feeling that something wasn't quite right? 30 minutes later, Emma led her away team into the Horizon's shuttle bay. Dr. Kai Emerson, the ship's chief medical officer, was already there, running final checks on their environmental suits. "All set, Captain," he reported as they approached. These suits will protect us from any potential biological contaminants while allowing full range of motion. Emma nodded, accepting a helmet from him. Excellent work, Doctor. Any last-minute advice? Kai's dark eyes crinkled with amusement behind his faceplate. Try not to sneeze on the aliens? Despite her nerves, Emma found herself smiling. Kai's irreverent humor was one of the reasons she'd handpicked him for this mission. His ability to stay calm under pressure would be invaluable. As they boarded the shuttle, Emma did one last visual check of her team. Aiden, steady and alert as always, Kira practically vibrating with scientific curiosity, and Kai, outwardly relaxed, but with a keen intelligence behind his eyes. They were as ready as they'd ever be. The shuttle glided out of the Horizon's bay, crossing the void between the two ships in a matter of minutes. As they drew closer, Emma marveled at the alien vessel's construction. What had seemed smooth from a distance revealed intricate patterns etched into the hull, swirling designs that seemed to shift and change as they watched. A circular opening irised open in the Noven ship's side, bathing their shuttle in soft blue light. Aiden guided them in with practiced ease, setting down gently in what appeared to be a docking bay. Atmosphere reads as oxygen-nitrogen, similar to Earth normal, Kira reported, studying her instruments. No detectable toxins or pathogens, but I recommend we keep helmets on for now. Agreed, Emma said. Stay alert, everyone. We're making history here. They disembarked to find 3 Novan waiting for them. Up close, Emma was struck by their grace and fluidity of movement. They seemed to glide rather than walk. The central Novan stepped forward, skin rippling in what Emma was beginning to recognize as their form of speech. Welcome aboard the Starweaver, Captain Chen. I am Xin, first emissary of the Noven Confederation. Emma inclined her head in what she hoped was a respectful gesture. Thank you for your hospitality, Emissary Xin. May I introduce my team? Commander Aiden Reeves, Lieutenant Kira Nomura, and Dr. Kai Emerson. Zin's companions rippled in acknowledgement. We are honored to meet you all. Please, follow us. We have much to share. As they walked deeper into the ship, Emma was overwhelmed by the alienness of it all. The corridors seemed to be grown rather than constructed, organic curves blending seamlessly with advanced technology. Soft light emanated from the walls themselves, and the air hummed with an energy she could feel but not quite define. Kira was in scientific heaven, her sensors whirring as she tried to take in every detail. Captain, the material composition of this ship is like nothing we've ever encountered. It appears to be a living alloy of some kind, responsive to its environment. Correct, Lieutenant Nomura, Zin said, their skin rippling with what might have been pleasure. Our ships are semi-sentient, grown from a fusion of organic and inorganic materials. They are extensions of ourselves in many ways. Emma exchanged a look with Aiden. The level of technology they were seeing was centuries, if not millennia, beyond Earth's capabilities. They entered a large, circular chamber dominated by a holographic display of the galaxy. Stars and planets swirled in breathtaking detail, and Emma realized with a start that this must be a real-time representation. This is our galactic observatory, Zin explained. From here, we monitor the development of countless civilizations across the cosmos. Kai whistled low. That's quite a neighborhood watch program you've got going. Zin's skin rippled in what Emma was beginning to interpret as amusement. An apt analogy, Dr. Emerson. We believe in fostering the growth of young species, offering guidance when they are ready to join the larger galactic community. And you believe humanity is ready? Aiden asked, a note of skepticism in his voice. We do, Zin replied. Your species has shown remarkable resilience and ingenuity. While you still have much to learn, we believe you have the potential to become valuable members of our Confederation. Emma felt a swell of pride at the alien's words, but caution tempered her enthusiasm. We're honored by your faith in us, Emissary. But I must ask, what exactly does membership in your Confederation entail? Zin gestured to the holographic display, which zoomed in on a section of the galaxy alight with activity. Access to a network of knowledge and resources beyond your imagining, Captain. Faster than light travel, clean energy production, medical advancements that can extend your lifespans tenfold. But more than that, a chance to be part of something greater than yourselves, to join in the stewardship of our galaxy. It sounded almost too good to be true. Emma glanced at her team, seeing her own mix of excitement and wariness reflected in their eyes. "And what would be expected of us in return?" she asked. "Initially, very little," Zin said. "We would ask only for cultural exchange and the opportunity to establish diplomatic relations with your world leaders. As your civilization advances, you would be expected to contribute to the Confederation's scientific and peacekeeping efforts." Kira could barely contain her excitement. "The scientific opportunities alone are staggering. Think of all we could learn." Kai nodded in agreement. "The medical implications are equally profound. We could eliminate disease, extend human lifespans." "I understand your enthusiasm," Emma said carefully, "but we need to proceed with caution. This is a monumental decision that will affect the entire human race. It's not one we can make lightly or quickly." Zin's skin rippled in what seemed to be approval. "A wise approach, Captain. We would expect nothing less. Take all the time you need to consult with your leaders. We are patient." As if to demonstrate that patience, Zin guided them on a tour of the Star Weaver. They saw engineering marvels that defied human understanding, medical facilities that could heal injuries and cure diseases in minutes, and agricultural bays that could feed entire planets. Throughout it all, the Novan were unfailingly polite and forthcoming, answering every question with apparent openness. Yet as the tour progressed, Emma couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. It wasn't anything she could put her finger on, just a nagging feeling that something wasn't quite right. She caught Aiden's eye during a lull in the tour and saw her own concerns mirrored in his expression. They'd worked together long enough to communicate volumes in a single glance. "Be on guard," that look said. "There's more going on here than meets the eye." As they returned to the Galactic Observatory, Zin turned to address them. "We hope this brief glimpse of our technology has given you a sense of what awaits humanity should you choose to join us. But we understand if you need time to process all you've seen, perhaps you would like to return to your ship to rest and discuss." Emma nodded, grateful for the opportunity to regroup. "Thank you, Emissary. Your hospitality has been overwhelming. We would indeed appreciate some time to absorb all we've learned." "Of course," Zin said. "We will transmit coordinates for a follow-up meeting in 48 of your Earth hours. Until then, please feel free to analyze the data we've provided and prepare any additional questions you may have." As they made their way back to the shuttle, Emma's mind was racing. The technology they'd seen was incredible, beyond their wildest dreams. The potential benefits to humanity were staggering, so why did she feel so unsettled? Once they were safely back aboard the Horizon, Emma called an immediate debriefing in the conference room. As soon as the doors slid shut behind them, she turned to her team. "All right, I want everyone's honest impressions. What are we dealing with here?" Kira was the first to speak, her words tumbling out in an excited rush. "Captain, the scientific advancements we saw are nothing short of miraculous. Their understanding of physics, biology, even the fundamental nature of reality itself, it's centuries beyond us. The potential for human advancement is incalculable." Kai nodded in agreement. "From a medical standpoint, I'm equally impressed. Their healing technology could eliminate virtually all human disease and suffering. We're talking about a complete revolution in quality of life." "I don't disagree," Aiden said, his brow furrowed in thought. "But doesn't it all seem a bit convenient? An advanced alien race just happens to show up offering us the keys to the galaxy with seemingly no strings attached?" Emma felt a rush of relief that she wasn't the only one with doubts. "My thoughts exactly, Commander. It's not that I distrust the Noven exactly. They've given us no reason to. But it feels too good to be true," Kai finished for her. "Precisely," Emma said. "Kira, in your analysis of their technology, did you find anything that could potentially be used as a weapon against us?" The young lieutenant frowned, considering. "Not directly, no. But honestly, Captain, their tech is so advanced that almost anything could be weaponized if they wanted it to be. Their energy production methods alone could probably crack a planet in half if used improperly." "That's what I was afraid of," Emma murmured. "Are we just being paranoid?" Kai asked. "I mean, Isn't this exactly what we hoped for when we set out on this mission? Peaceful first contact, technological exchange, invitation to a larger galactic community? It is, Emma acknowledged, and that's what makes this so difficult. We have to consider the possibility that our own fears and suspicions are coloring our perceptions. Humanity has a long history of fearing the unknown. But we also have good reason to be cautious, Aiden pointed out. Looking at our own history, more technologically advanced civilizations haven't always had the best interests of less developed ones in mind. Emma nodded grimly. Exactly. We need more information before we can make any decisions. Kira, I want you to go over every scrap of data they provided with a fine-toothed comb. Look for any inconsistencies, any hint of hidden agendas. Yes, Captain, Kira said, already pulling out her datapad. Kai, review all the medical information they shared. I want to know if there's anything in there that could potentially be used to harm us. The doctor nodded. I'll get right on it. Aiden, you and I will draft a preliminary report for Starfleet Command. We need to give them as complete a picture as possible. As her team set to work, Emma found herself drawn to the viewport, staring out at the gleaming Noven ship. The opportunity before them was unprecedented, but so were the potential risks. She just hoped they could figure out the Novan's true intentions before it was too late. The next 48 hours passed in a blur of activity. Emma's team worked around the clock, analyzing data and preparing for their next encounter with the Novan. The more they dug into the information provided, the more questions arose. Kira's scientific analysis revealed technology so advanced it bordered on the impossible. Theories of physics that contradicted everything humanity thought they knew about the universe. Power sources that seemed to defy the laws of thermodynamics. It's like trying to explain quantum mechanics to a medieval peasant, Kira said, frustration evident in her voice. I can see the results, but I can't even begin to understand the underlying principles. Kai's medical review was equally perplexing. The Novan healing technology appeared capable of curing any ailment, regrowing lost limbs, even reversing aging itself. But the mechanisms behind it were so advanced that Kai couldn't determine if there were any potential side effects or long-term consequences. It's like they've conquered death itself, he reported, a mix of awe and unease in his voice. But without understanding how it works, we have no way to verify its safety. Aiden's tactical analysis was equally concerning. While the Novan had shown no overt military technology, their level of advancement meant that almost anything could be weaponized. Their ability to manipulate energy and matter at a fundamental level made them potentially unstoppable in a conflict. As the deadline for their next meeting approached, Emma called her team together one last time. All right, what's our consensus? She asked, looking around the table. Kira spoke first, her usual enthusiasm tempered by caution. The scientific opportunities are unprecedented, Captain. But I have to admit, the more I study their tech, the more uneasy I feel. It's not just that it's advanced. It's that it seems to operate on principles that shouldn't be possible, according to our understanding of the universe. Kai nodded in agreement. I have similar concerns from a medical standpoint. Their healing technology is miraculous, but without understanding how it works, we have no way to assess potential risks. For all we know, it could have unforeseen consequences on human physiology. From a tactical perspective, Aiden added, we're at a severe disadvantage. If the Novan decided to turn hostile, we'd have no effective means of defense. Their technology is so far beyond ours that we might as well be throwing rocks at them. Emma absorbed their reports, her own unease growing. So we're all sensing that something's not quite right here. The question is, what do we do about it? We could simply decline their offer, Kai suggested. Thank them for their hospitality and head home. Kira looked aghast at the idea. But think of all we'd be giving up. This could be humanity's one chance to leap forward centuries in development. Or it could be walking into a trap we don't even understand, Aiden countered. Emma held up a hand to forestall further debate. Both perspectives have merit. We can't ignore the potential benefits, but we also can't blindly accept everything at face value. She paused, considering their options. I think our best course of action is to continue engagement. but with extreme caution. We'll accept their offer of further cultural exchange, but we'll also be on high alert for any sign of deception or hidden agendas." Her team nodded in agreement, and Emma felt a surge of pride in their unity. Whatever they were facing, they would face it together. As they prepared to return to the Noven ship, Emma couldn't shake a sense of foreboding. They were walking into unknown territory, potentially risking not just their own lives, but the fate of all humanity. But they had no choice. The stakes were too high to turn back now. The shuttle ride back to the Star Weaver was tense with anticipation. As they docked in the alien bay, Emma turned to her team one last time. "Remember, stay alert and trust your instincts. If anything feels off, don't hesitate to signal for an immediate withdrawal." They were met once again by Xin and two other Novan. The alien's skin rippled in what Emma was beginning to recognize as a greeting. "Welcome back, friends," Xin said, their melodious voice filled with warmth. "We hope you have had time to process what you've seen and are ready to discuss the next steps in our relationship." Emma nodded, keeping her expression neutral. "We appreciate your patience, emissary. We have indeed had much to consider. Perhaps we could continue our discussion in a more private setting." "Of course," Zen replied, gesturing for them to follow. "We have prepared a conference room for just such a purpose." As they walked through the ship's organic corridors, Emma noticed subtle differences from their previous visit. The walls seemed to pulse with a faint bioluminescence, and she could have sworn she felt a vibration underfoot, as if the ship itself was alive and breathing. The conference room was a circular chamber with a large holographic display at its center. As they entered, the display sprang to life, showing a three-dimensional map of the Milky Way galaxy. Xin gestured for them to take seats around the display. "We thought it might be helpful to show you humanity's place in the larger galactic community." The map zoomed in on a spiral arm, then further to a cluster of stars. A small blue dot pulsed gently. "This is your solar system," Xin explained. "As you can see, you are on the outskirts of a relatively quiet sector of the galaxy." The map zoomed out again, and hundreds of points of light appeared, each a different color. These represent the various civilizations that make up our confederation. As you can see, there is a vast network of intelligent life spanning the galaxy. Kira leaned forward, her scientific curiosity piqued despite her caution. "Are all of these civilizations as advanced as the Novan?" Zin's skin rippled in what might have been amusement. "Not at all. The Confederation includes species at various stages of development. Part of our mission is to guide younger races as they take their place among the stars." "And where would humanity fall in this hierarchy?" Aiden asked, his tone carefully neutral. "You would be considered a young race," Zin replied, "but one with great potential. Your adaptability and creativity are quite remarkable." Emma decided it was time to address their concerns directly. "Emissary, we are deeply honored by your offer of alliance, but I must be frank. The level of technology you've shown us is so far beyond our current understanding that it's difficult for us to fully assess the implications." Zin's skin rippled in what Emma hoped was understanding. "Your caution is commendable, Captain Chen. It is one of the traits that convinced us your species was ready for this step. Perhaps it would ease your concerns if we were to demonstrate our technology in a more practical manner." Emma exchanged glances with her team. This could be the opportunity they needed to gain more insight. "What did you have in mind?" Zin gestured, and the holographic display changed to show a detailed image of the horizon. "Your ship is an impressive feat of engineering for your level of development, but it has limitations. With your permission, we could upgrade its systems, giving you a taste of what alliance with the Noven could mean for humanity." Aiden stiffened beside her. "You want to modify our ship?" "Only if you agree," Zin assured them. "Think of it as a gesture of good faith. We could increase your power efficiency, improve your life support systems, even upgrade your propulsion to allow for faster-than-light travel." The offer was tempting, almost too tempting. Emma's instincts screamed that this was too good to be true, but the potential benefits were hard to ignore. "That's a generous offer, emissary," she said carefully. but I hope you understand that we would need to carefully review any proposed modifications before agreeing." "Of course," Zin said, their skin rippling in what seemed to be approval. "We would expect nothing less. We can provide detailed schematics for your scientists to analyze. Perhaps we could begin with a small demonstration, a minor upgrade to your sensors, perhaps?" Emma glanced at Kira, who gave a slight nod. "We would be interested in seeing that, yes." Zin made a gesture and one of the other Novan glided forward, carrying what looked like a small iridescent sphere. "This is a quantum resonance amplifier. It will allow your sensors to detect subspace fluctuations, greatly increasing your scanning range and accuracy." Kira accepted the device, her eyes wide with scientific curiosity. The principles behind this could revolutionize our understanding of subspace theory. "Indeed," Zin said. "It is but a small taste of what we can offer. Now, shall we discuss the terms of a more formal alliance?" As Zin began outlining the benefits of joining the Noven Confederation, Emma found her attention divided. Part of her was caught up in the tantalizing possibilities being laid out before them: clean energy, interstellar travel, medical miracles. It was everything humanity had ever dreamed of. But another part of her remained on high alert. The Novan's offer seemed too perfect, too carefully tailored to human desires. And there was something in Zin's manner, a subtle eagerness beneath the calm exterior, that set off warning bells in Emma's mind. She caught Aiden's eye and saw her own conflicted feelings reflected there. They needed more time, more information. But how could they delay without risking this opportunity? As Zin continued speaking, Emma's mind raced, trying to find a way to navigate this delicate situation. The fate of humanity could rest on the decisions they made in the next few hours. Little did they know, events were already in motion that would force their hand and reveal the true nature of the Novan's intentions. Back on the horizon, Ensign Chen was monitoring communications when an alert flashed on his console. A transmission was coming in, heavily encrypted, and on a frequency they'd never encountered before. Chen's fingers flew over the controls, working to decrypt the message. As the text appeared on his screen, his eyes widened in shock. "Captain," he calmed urgently, "you need to see this." On the Starweaver, Emma's communicator chirped discreetly. She excused herself, stepping away from the group to answer. "Chen, what is it?" The ensign's voice was tense. "Captain, we've received a transmission from an unknown source. It's a warning about the Novan." Emma's blood ran cold. "Send it to my personal device. Encrypt it at the highest level." She rejoined the group, fighting to keep her expression neutral as her personal datapad vibrated with the incoming message. As Zin continued extolling the virtues of the Noven Confederation, Emma discreetly read the warning. To the human delegation, the Noven are not what they seem. Their offer of alliance is a trap. They have done this before, uplifting species only to enslave them. The technology they give you will make you dependent on them. Do not trust them. You must leave immediately. There isn't much time. The message was signed simply, "A friend." Emma's mind raced. Could this be true? Or was it a trick, perhaps from some rival alien faction trying to disrupt the alliance? She needed time to verify the information. But if it was accurate, they were in imminent danger. She caught Aiden's eye, giving him a subtle signal they'd developed over years of working together. Be ready for anything. Turning back to Zin, Emma pasted on a smile. "Emissary, your offer is incredibly generous, but I hope you understand that we'll need time to consult with our superiors before making any binding agreements." Zin's skin rippled in what Emma now recognized as disappointment. "Of course, Captain, but surely we can at least begin the process. The quantum resonance amplifier, for instance. Why don't we install it on your ship now as a show of good faith?" The eagerness in Zin's voice set off more alarm bells in Emma's mind. She needed to buy time without arousing suspicion. "We appreciate the offer, Emissary, but our protocols require that any new technology be thoroughly tested in a controlled environment before installation on our ship. Perhaps we could take the device back to the horizon for analysis." Zin's skin rippled rapidly, and Emma sensed a shift in the room's atmosphere. The other Novan moved subtly, positioning themselves between the humans and the exit. "I'm afraid we must insist, Captain," Zin said. their melodious voice taking on a harder edge. "The amplifier is but the first step in your integration into our confederation. Surely you understand that some leap of faith is required." Emma's hand inched towards her concealed sidearm. "I understand completely, emissary. And I hope you understand that we must respectfully decline." For a moment, tension crackled in the air. Then Zin's skin rippled in what might have been a sigh. "We had hoped to do this the easy way, Captain. But I see now that your species is not as ready as we had thought." With shocking speed, Zin's form began to change. Their lavender skin darkened to a deep purple, and sharp protrusions erupted from their limbs. The other Novan underwent similar transformations. "Retreat!" Emma shouted, drawing her weapon. "Back to the shuttle, now!" As her team scrambled for the exit, Emma fired at the ceiling, causing a shower of sparks that momentarily disoriented the Novan. They burst into the corridor, alarms blaring around them. "Horizon, this is the captain," Emma yelled into her communicator as they ran. "Prepare for emergency departure. Arm all weapons and be ready to provide covering fire for the shuttle." They rounded a corner and found their path blocked by more Novan, these already in their altered, hostile forms. Aiden and Emma opened fire, their energy weapons seeming to have little effect on the alien physiology. Kai grabbed a piece of equipment from a nearby alcove, hurling it at their pursuers. It exploded in a burst of acrid smoke, buying them precious seconds. They finally reached the docking bay, diving into their shuttle as energy blasts sizzled past them. Kira threw herself into the pilot's seat, her fingers flying over the controls. "Hang on," she shouted as the shuttle rocketed out of the bay. The space between the ships erupted in weapons fire. The Horizon, already on alert, provided cover for the shuttle's desperate flight. As soon as they were aboard, Emma raced for the bridge. "Get us out of here, maximum speed." The Horizon's engines roared to life, propelling them away from the Novan ship. But the Starweaver was in pursuit, closing the distance with terrifying speed. "They're powering up some kind of energy weapon," Aiden reported, his voice tense. Emma's mind raced. They couldn't outrun the Novan, and their weapons were no match for the alien technology. They needed a miracle. And then she remembered the quantum resonance amplifier. A crazy idea formed in her mind. "Kira, the device they gave us, could we use it to create a subspace distortion?" The young lieutenant's eyes widened in understanding. "It's possible, but I don't know if—" "Do it!" Emma ordered. "Tie it into the main deflector. We only need a few seconds." As Kira worked feverishly, the Novan ship loomed larger on their view screen. A ball of crackling energy began to form at its bow. "Now, Kira." A pulse of energy erupted from the Horizon's deflector dish. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing happened. Then space itself seemed to ripple and tear. The Horizon plunged into the subspace rift just as the Novan weapon fired. Reality twisted around them, buffeting the ship like a leaf in a storm. Warning klaxons blared as systems overloaded, and then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. They emerged from the rift thousands of light years from where they'd entered. "Status report," Emma called out, picking herself up off the floor. "Multiple systems damaged, but main power holding," Aiden reported. "No sign of pursuit." Emma allowed herself a moment of relief before the weight of what had just happened settled over her. They had escaped, but at what cost? And what would they tell Earth about their disastrous first contact? As her crew worked to assess the damage and plot a course home, Emma stared out at the unfamiliar stars surrounding them. They had set out to make history, to forge humanity's first alliance with an alien race. Instead, they had stumbled upon a threat unlike anything they could have imagined. One thing was clear: the galaxy was a far more dangerous place than they had ever realized, and humanity would need to be prepared for whatever might come next. In the days that followed, as the Horizon limped its way back towards Earth, Emma and her crew had much to contemplate. The warning message that had saved them raised as many questions as it answered. Who had sent it? Were there other alien races out there? Perhaps ones more benevolent than the Noven? They analyzed every scrap of data they had managed to gather, searching for clues about the Noven's true nature and intentions. Kira's study of the quantum resonance amplifier provided some insights into the advanced technology they had encountered. But it also highlighted just how vast the gap was between human science and what existed out among the stars. Kai focused on the medical implications of what they had seen. The Noven healing technology, while potentially miraculous, now seemed sinister in light of their true intentions. Could it have been a Trojan horse, designed to alter human physiology in subtle ways that would make them more susceptible to control? Aiden worked tirelessly to upgrade the Horizon's defensive systems, incorporating what little they had learned about Novan technology. It wasn't much, but it might give them a fighting chance if they encountered the aliens again. As for Emma, she spent long hours in her ready room, drafting and redrafting her report to Starfleet Command. How could she convey the magnitude of what they had discovered? The exhilaration of first contact, the wonder of advanced alien technology, and the terror of narrowly escaping enslavement. It all seemed too fantastic to be believed, but believed it must be for the sake of humanity's future. As they approached the outer reaches of the solar system, Emma called her senior staff together one last time before they would be in range of Earth's communications network. "We need to decide how we're going to present this to Starfleet and the world," she said, looking around at the tired but determined faces of her crew. "What we've experienced will change everything. Our understanding of our place in the universe, our approach to technological development, our entire concept of interstellar relations, it all needs to be reevaluated." Aiden spoke up first. "We need to warn them about the Novan threat. Earth needs to start preparing defenses immediately." Kira nodded in agreement but added, "We also need to emphasize the technological insights we've gained. Even that small glimpse could advance our science by decades." "And we can't forget about the medical implications," Kai interjected. "Both the potential benefits and the risks." Emma absorbed their input, her mind working to synthesize a cohesive strategy. "You're all right. We'll present a comprehensive report that covers all aspects of our encounter. But more than that, we need to convey a message of unity and determination. Humanity needs to come together like never before if we're going to face this new reality." As they finalized their approach, an alert chimed from the communications console. "Captain," Ensign Chen called out, "we're receiving a transmission. It's on the same frequency as the warning we received before." Emma's heart raced. "On screen," she ordered. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a humanoid figure shrouded in shadows. When it spoke, its voice was distorted, impossible to identify. "Greetings, crew of the Horizon. We are relieved to see you have escaped the Noven trap. Your species has shown remarkable resilience and ingenuity." Emma stepped forward. "Who are you? Why did you warn us?" The figure seemed to hesitate before responding. "We are, let's say, a coalition of species who have also fallen victim to the Noven's false promises. We have been working in secret for centuries to undermine their efforts and protect younger races like yourselves." "Why reveal yourselves now?" Aiden asked, suspicion evident in his voice. "Because the balance is shifting," the figure replied. "More and more species are resisting the Noven's influence. With humanity's potential added to the mix, we believe the time has come to mount a more direct opposition." Emma exchanged glances with her crew, seeing her own mix of hope and wariness reflected in their eyes. "What are you proposing?" "An alliance," the figure said. "A true one based on mutual respect and cooperation. We can offer you protection, guidance, and technology to help defend against the Novan threat. In return, we ask for your assistance in our efforts to liberate other species from Novan control." It was another monumental decision, one that would shape the course of human history. But this time, Emma felt more prepared to face it. "We appreciate your offer," she said carefully. "But as you can understand, we'll need time to verify your claims and consult with our leaders. We've learned the hard way that things aren't always as they seem in this galaxy." The figure nodded. "Of course, we expected nothing less. Take the time you need. When you're ready to talk further, use the quantum resonance amplifier you acquired. It can be tuned to reach us securely." With that, the transmission ended, leaving the bridge in thoughtful silence. Emma turned to her crew, a determined glint in her eye. "Well, it seems our mission isn't over yet. In fact, it might be just beginning." Aiden smiled grimly. So much for a simple first contact mission. Nothing simple about it, Kai agreed. But it's certainly historic. Kira's eyes shone with excitement despite her exhaustion. Just think of all we still have to learn. Emma felt a surge of pride in her crew. Despite everything they'd been through, their spirit of exploration and determination remained unbroken. All right, people, she said. Let's take humanity's first steps into a much larger, more complex galaxy than we ever imagined. Ensign Chen, open a channel to Starfleet Command. It's time to change the course of history. As the horizon approached Earth, carrying with it knowledge that would reshape humanity's understanding of the cosmos, Emma knew that their adventure was far from over. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagination. But with unity, courage, and an unwavering spirit of exploration, humanity would find its place among the stars. The end of their first mission was just the beginning of a greater journey, one that would challenge them, change them, and ultimately define them as a species. As they prepared to share their discoveries with the world, Emma and her crew stood ready to lead humanity into this new era, whatever it might bring. The stars beckoned, full of promise and peril, and humanity would answer the call.